Hello, my loves. So I'm sure as many of you have been doing, I have been sitting in the pain and discomfort of all of the upheaval that is going on right now. There's so much beauty in it. There's so much forward movement happening. And yet there is a pain in it. There's a lot of pain as we unearth so much more of what has been buried under the surface, for more of us to see a larger spotlight placed on all of the inequities and injustice that has gone on for centuries. But there's something that's been tugging at me. There is like an internal alarm system that's happening for me, as I'm watching people fighting, mostly on social media, because I'm not really seeing too many people in person right now. And it caused me to wonder, is this the right path? If there is a right path, is there like something that we're missing? So I did a channel that I'm going to share that feels like it addresses it, although as many of my channels do, as many of the channels I've done show, there's always like a both and quality to it. So it's never black and white, so to speak, as they even talk about. So one thing that I've been playing with is this idea of justice, right? Like we're saying that we want justice. And I was like, but there's so much fighting going on. So anyways, I looked up the definition of justice just to play with this idea. And what I found was the quality of being just, righteousness, equitableness, or moral rightness. And so when I see that rightness and the righteousness in there, what that says to me is, in order for us to have justice in that definition, in order for us to have rightness, someone has to be wrong. And something about that doesn't feel true to me. It feels too polarized. And so anyways, I'll read the channel and you can see they touch on this. So, and then we'll see what else comes up. Okay, so here it is. Dearest wild child of the golden rainbow. And as I share that, they often give names like that, and sometimes I know what they are and sometimes I don't. This one kind of gets explained later in the channel. We hear you questioning all of it. Who is right? Who is wrong? Where is the middle? What is the solution? This is where it gets sticky and also extremely basic at once. The answer is at the apex of your being, in the center of your heart. The answers are there, and they get buried in all the covering up, the shielding and protecting, which is just an attempt to keep your heart from being pierced. But why protect it? A wounded heart pours with answers. It pours out truth. So there's nothing really to guard yourself from. The real question, the real test, is can we stand in the face of hate, anger, prejudice, and send love back? Everyone who is hating right now does so from a place of not understanding. When you hate someone else, even someone who has caused you harm, you are not seeing them, while at the same time screaming that you are not being seen. This type of relating will never end in peace. One person has to put their shield down, listen, say I'm sorry, be willing to be vulnerable enough to be wrong, and listen. And there is never an instance when one person is solely right and another person solely wrong. That doesn't exist. That is black and white thinking stuck in the matrix. Truth is a rainbow. It moves in a circle. Each person has a part of the story, like pieces of a puzzle you are building and creating, all while yelling at each other that someone else isn't putting their piece in the right place. Stop telling other people what to do. That just creates more fighting. Everyone talking and no one listening. It doesn't move in a straight line. That energy creates a tug of war, not a tug of peace. You can't build peace by tugging. That can only be created by giving. After you, after you, after you. Let me listen. Let me hear you. After all, you're listening to yourself. When you listen to others, you're listening to yourself. There is nothing in someone else's experience that can't also be yours. So listen and take turns. Listen to the beat of your own heart. What does it say? What does it need? Often it needs a hug, a soft place to land and rest. And all this unrest makes it worse. More and more people walking around with raw wounds bumping up against each other saying, "Me too," but not hugging each other, not sitting in the similarity, not seeing each other truly. That takes a brave heart. That is the war that should be waged, if any at all. The war of fear. The war with the voices inside your head that tell you to protect yourself, that tell you that your friends are your enemies. Let your mind go silent. Let your heart do the talking. If you push, you'll get pushed back. That's how it works. The true work lies in not pushing. Feel your feelings. Let them be yours, not making them someone else's fault. No one else can make you feel something. You feel because you're human. Hold your own feelings. Let yourself be informed by them. Send them to the earth. Offer them like a gift. Stop sending them out towards others. You are here to love, to be love. Keep that in your focus as your target. Let everything else drop around you. It can't get the better of you if you don't engage it. Just like a child fighting for candy or whatever thing it's tantruming about. As a parent, you have to dig deep to not be dispelled and dissuaded from your goal. You have to hold strong to your mission. So you sit on your hands and feel the discomfort of wanting to meet your cries or their cries with comfort, to take away their pain to make it easy. It's not your job to make it easy. It's your job to remain true, to be solid for them, to be reliable. This is the same thing you do with your mind. Give it what it wants so you don't have to feel. Yell at someone so you don't have to feel. Let yourself feel it and stay where you are without pushing back. This is all it takes, difficult and painful at once, but you can do it. You can hold and contain your energy, send it down to earth, breathe, listen, make space. This is how you solve the puzzle. This is how you work together. This is how you make a rainbow out of black and white. So, a lot of things come up for me when I hear that. Just this image that I keep getting over and over of all of us standing in a circle holding hands. And each person going to the center and speaking and sharing their voice, sharing their vision, and then stepping back into the circle, supporting the whole. And what I see a lot happening right now is this kind of vying for control and wanting to be dominant, fighting it out. And I just keep thinking about that definition of justice and going, okay, yes, of course we want justice. But do we really just want justice, or is that one chapter? Are we really going for peace? Are we really going for love? It reminds me of a video from years and years ago, a little girl talking to her mom. and talking to her about her mom and dad's divorce and wanting them to be in the middle where her heart is. And this talk about meeting in the apex where the heart is, that feels more true to me. So I just offer that because I feel like as I'm watching people arguing, I think it's so painful to listen to hate and violence and aggression and have patience with it. You know, you want to just push it off because it elicits so much pain in us individually. But something that comes up in healing sessions quite often, it's come up in meditation for me many times, is that the earth is here to take our pain. And that when we give her our pain, it's as if that's her oxygen that we're giving her, and she's giving us back the air that we need to breathe. And there's this exchange that goes on, the need for us to kind of go underground into the earth with our feelings and be there with all of that discomfort. And we have been taught to shield ourselves, to protect ourselves, and not be vulnerable. And I think all of this is coming up right now. I mean, specifically during the pandemic already, is like, you know, in some ways it's so beautiful because it's coming at a time when we were already sort of at rest and more attentive to what's happening in the world and more available. So I just offer that we try to be with our feelings as much as we can, that we try to be with them and feel them all the way through, because there's so much information in those feelings. Whatever it is that's coming up for you right now, as painful as it might be, if you can let yourself feel it all the way through, what information is housed there. Because I feel like for myself, when I allow myself, and it's so painful, it's so hard, easier said than done, but when I allow myself to feel the feelings all the way through, so much information comes up that it actually gives me the wisdom that I need to move forward. It gives me the information that I need. And if I feel it, if it comes here and it's hot and it's uncomfortable and I push it away too quickly, I miss the information. And I might act from that place of hate and anger or violence, which really is just protection of, you know, fear and hurt. If I act too quickly, I don't get the information. So I love you all. Keep doing the work, keep fighting the good fight, and being at the apex of your heart where the information lies. Okay, love you.